Ever wanted to know how to solve a jigsaw puzzle step by step? Keep watching for my 5-step method on how to solve a 1,000-piece puzzle. Welcome back. I'm super duper excited for today's puzzle. It is called Kids' Favorite Foods. It is 1,000 pieces and it is from the flashback series of the Masterpieces puzzle brand. Now, I've never done a Masterpieces brand puzzle before, so I'm not quite sure what to expect, but I do have some tried and true procedures I always try whenever I take on a 1,000-piece puzzle. No matter the brand, no matter the picture on the box. I'm gonna use my 5-step method to build this puzzle piece by piece, time-lapse style. Stick around to the end to see the breakdown of how I do it, and please be sure to let me know how it compares to the way you build puzzles. But before I get started, please do me a favor and click those like and subscribe buttons. And I'll see you on the other side of this time lapse. Okay, I'm done, and I really enjoyed putting this puzzle together. I'm not quite sure how a lot of these foods fit into the flashbacks category, because a lot of them seem pretty new, like the Lunchables and the Nerds and the Uncrustables, but maybe I'm just old. So as I mentioned before, this was my very first Masterpieces puzzle, and one thing I noticed right out of the gate was all the puzzle pieces are super funkily shaped. Notwithstanding, I was able to use my normal 5-step puzzling method to get this guy done in no time. Want to hear how I did it? First, I sorted the pieces. This is my least favorite step, but essentially you take a huge box of pieces and split them out into piles. Usually I lay out the edge pieces in their own little section nicely, and then just toss the other ones in piles according to color. Now, if this were a 300-piece or 500-piece puzzle, I might considering like flipping the pieces over nicely by color, but I've kind of found that 1,000 pieces, I don't really have room for that on my puzzle mat. Plus, I'm usually trying to get this step done as fast as possible. I don't spend a ton of time agonizing over which pile a particular color should be. Is this light orange or super dark yellow? Because basically, I just want to get this over with. So I pick a pile, I get them all sorted, and I move on. Step 2, I put the edges together. I like to lay everything out kind of facing the same way at the beginning because I find it's easier to make matches that way. But at some point, I do start moving these connected edges to where they're kind of supposed to be in the frame, which usually involves shushing the piles I've made out of the way. And if I miss an edge piece, like I did in this puzzle and accidentally put it in one of the color piles, I don't stress out, I will find it later. I move on. So for step 3, I tackle one color pile at a time. I usually like to pick the color pile first that is the most distinct. So that means there's like the least amount of that color in this puzzle. or they're really easy to identify because they all have wording on it or something. After I pick a pile, I flip over all the pieces in the pile and try and match where they go and put them right where they're supposed to be in the middle of the puzzle. After I'm done with all the low-hanging fruit though, I just leave the rest and, you guessed it, move on to another color pile. Notice pattern here? Okay, so step 4 isn't so much as a step, it's more of something I do the entire time I'm working on a puzzle. As I'm laying out all the pieces and sticking them in the middle, I'm clearing some space usually in the parts that are next to me. So what I try and do is continually scooch down pieces, so I'm moving the farther ones closer to me. Usually I find that like after I start moving some pieces around, it's easy to find the ones that I couldn't find a match on before just because I'm like staring at them a little bit more. So when I've addressed each color pile and I'm kind of stuck with just the extras that I couldn't easily match before, I go on to step 5, which I call shape mode. Essentially, I look at the holes I have in the puzzle and figure out, well, what shape would fit that hole best, and then go look for that shape. Now, shape mode can look different depending on the type of puzzle I'm doing. For this one, shape mode was great because every shape was its own weird one. So I could be like, oh, I'm looking for that elongated triangle squishy piece. And then I could look around and there's only one elongated triangle squishy piece shape. Easy. For most other puzzles with pretty standard shapes, usually I find I have to spend a lot of time arranging those extra pieces by shape family first before I can use shape mode to the fullest extent. For example, I'll put like all the ones with only 1 point in an area and all the ones with 4 points in another area. And then as I'm looking at the space I have left, I'm like, well, it's got to have at least 2 points, so I'll look over here. But then sometimes you have a puzzle like the crazy Lego one I've done, where literally every piece is the same shape. At that point, you're in trouble, and you basically have to pray for some awesome inspiration to get the rest of the puzzle done. Good luck. And that's it. That's my 5-step process for solving any 1,000-piece puzzle. Now, I usually like to live in the 500 to 1,000-piece puzzle range, and I'm sure at those huge, crazy puzzle piece counts, there's a whole array of techniques that I just haven't even fathomed yet. Please drop me a line in the comments and let me know if you have a cool puzzling technique you think I should know about. Do you build puzzles a totally crazy, wacky way? Then let me know that too. For now, I'm going to get started on my next puzzle, and I hope to see you guys there.